So let's turn now to Karl Brauer to talk more about that tentative agreement reached between GM and the UAW and what it might mean and potentially impact the transformation that the auto industry is currently undergoing. He is the executive publisher at Kelley Blue Book and Auto Trader. Ken, welcome. Nice to have you, or Karl, rather. Nice to have you here.
Great to be on with you.
We got some of the details from Jane. Given what you've been able to hear and find out about this deal, what do you think of it?
Well, I think you've seen some great movement on both sides, right? You've seen the workers get increased wages and benefits for both themselves and new temporary workers, shorten the time frame on what it takes to get to the full payment, full pay scale, which is what they really wanted. Of course, they continue to have a great medical coverage, which every American would love to have right now. And GM is supposed to get to be able to close 3 plants that they want to close to maintain profitability and maintain kind of the lean approach that Mary Barra has increasingly taken over the last 5+ years, where she really wants the company to be profitable. So both of them have moved and gotten to this point where they can actually get a vote out there.
Right.
But also, as noted, there's still some pushback on the plant in Ohio, and there's still some pushback on a plant in Mexico that builds the new Blazer, for instance. So it's not a done deal.
And now Ford and Fiat Chrysler will use this as a blueprint for their own negotiations. Does this contract, as you know about it at this point, prepare the U.S. auto industry for the transformation that they're going through right now? Fewer sedans sold, a lot more SUVs, and the coming of electrified vehicles.
You know, I think this negotiation process and this contract proves that it's possible to get through these transitions as they're happening, but it also proves how tough it can be. I mean, this was a long strike, and it cost GM a lot of money and a lot of production. And I don't think it's going to get easier. I don't think this deal signifies that things will be easier going forward necessarily, especially since there's still so much transition to go on. We are going to see more electrification of vehicles. We're going to see fewer sedan sales. That's just the new world, the new normal we live in. And I think we're going to see more of these potential strikes that could drag on because there's going to have to be a lot of give and take as the industry transitions for both unions and automakers.
Don't you think, though, that both the union and the companies know that they have to go through this transition, right? I mean, that's inevitable.
Yeah, and it makes sense, right, that they're going to both have to face this. You know, they're very dependent on each other, and if they can't come together on these things, it's bad for both of them. But I think, look at the last 10 years, right? This was one of the most successful timeframes in the U.S. auto industry's history. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there was any avoiding this kind of serious negotiation by the unions, who rightfully expected more. They wanted more out of the companies that have done so well. But it's ironic that now we're getting to kind of the next cycle, and we know these go in cycles, where it might be shrinking sales. There's going to be a lot of transition to different types of vehicles. And right now, they're asking for, you know, more money and better benefits, when the automakers probably are going to see a tougher next 5 years than the last 10 that they've experienced.
All right, Karl, thank you so much for your perspective. Karl Brauer with Kelley Blue Book.